What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a different video. Today we're grading every team in the NFL, and today will be the NFC edition. So we'll start out with the NFC East, and we can start out with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys get a B. They had a pretty decent offseason, honestly. They did what they needed to do. They needed to get defense over the offseason, and that was perfect because that's what they did during the offseason, and then was perfect. They re-signed a bunch of guys too. Franchise tag George Pickens, and then if he has another good season at the end of the year, they can give him a contract. So great offseason from the Cowboys. Honestly, they needed it. It was a good offseason. I think Jerry Jones was making pretty decent moves. Sometimes Jerry Jones is moving like Celtic Shaq, or sometimes he's moving like Prime Kobe. So he was making decent moves during the offseason. I feel like the Cowboys had a really decent offseason. They were able to kind of rebuild, especially after losing Micah Parsons last season. It was such a bad offseason. They were able to really get it back this offseason. That defense is going to look good next year, I feel like. And I'm happy that they got rid of Matt Eberflus, too. They got a new defensive coordinator. So they did everything they needed to do, in my opinion. They get a B. They didn't do nothing too crazy, though, either. So they get a B. The team that I'm using right now, which is the Giants. The Giants get an A. Oh yeah, they definitely get an A, no doubt about it. They had a pretty good offseason. Honestly, they needed to hit a hard rebuild. The last few seasons, they've been pretty inconsistent and trash. I mean, but they're just missing the playoffs every year, and they haven't made it back to the playoffs since 2022 with Daniel Jones. So it's been a while since they've been to the playoffs, and they needed a big offseason like this because they have the roster to go. They were just missing a quarterback. Now they have a quarterback. They were missing a coach. Now they have a coach. They made some decent signings like OBJ. I know he's older, but he could fill in when Malik Neighbors is out. Malik Neighbors should be coming back soon, but I don't think he'll come back week 1. The Giants. Hiring John Harbaugh, I think, is huge. He is a smart head coach. He needed a new environment. He needed to get out of Baltimore. I think New York is going to be a good place for them. I think the Giants are going to shock the world next year. I think they're going to be a pretty decent team. Cam Skattebo should be back and healthy, and so should Jackson Dart. Even though they've gone a little bit under controversy lately, I don't want to even talk about it. Who cares? Move on to the Commanders. The Commanders had an okay offseason. They didn't really do much, I don't think. At least I don't remember them not doing much. I mean, not really made any big signs. They just kind of re-signed some people, kept the same roster just about. So I'll be good and give the Commanders a C. They had a decent offseason. Their defense didn't really improve. Their defense is still aging at this point, so they got to figure out how to improve that. Definitely right now. I mean, my lord, couldn't get any more cover than that. Anyway, though, I mean, they just need to improve that defense. It's old and it's aging. They're not going to have Von Miller next year. But yeah, so they didn't really do much this offseason. They might make a move. And the last team of the NFC East, definitely not least, though, is the Eagles. They had an okay offseason. I'm giving them a C, too. Kind of the same boat as the Commanders. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a bad offseason, but it wasn't great. I mean, you lost A.J. Brown. That's obviously the biggest team people talk about, but we already knew that. Before that, I mean, we just knew that. What's the flag for? Either way, though, but A.J. Brown, we already knew he was going to get traded somewhere. Most people could have predicted it was the Patriots. Yes, there we go. But, so, yeah. So, that kind of hurt them a lot this offseason. I think it's going to hurt them a lot next year. Not only was their offense weak last year with Kevin Batua's play calling, you're missing a guy like A.J. Brown. It's going to hurt. And they try to replace him with Mekhi Lemon, which he could be a stud. I don't know anything about him. Or I know stuff about, I've seen his college stuff, but we'll see how he does in the NFL. You never know. You never know. And they also signed Tavion Wicks, which I think he's also pretty good, but I don't know if they're going to step up to A.J. Brown requirements. I don't know if they're going to be that, 1,400-yard monster A.J. Brown was, or 1,000 yards just last season, and have 1,400 yards back-to-back seasons. I don't know if they could be that kind of monster that A.J. Brown was. It's going to definitely hurt the Eagles' offense. Eagles' defense did stay the same, though. Their defense will be dominant next year. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Blankenship, all those good guys. That's a great defense that they have there in Philly, but their offense is going to struggle next year. It's going to be probably one of the worst offenses in the NFL, I think. I mean, they might. Moving on to the NFC West, I want to actually talk about that. We'll start off with the Rams, who are probably the hottest topic in football right now. The Rams, they get an A from me. They had a great offseason, in my opinion. They made great signings. They did what they needed to do. They started out, they signed Trent McDuffie, who was on the Chiefs. He had a great season last season, even though the Chiefs only won 6 games. He had a stud season. That was a great signing from the Rams. They also extended Matthew Stafford at the end of the year, the reigning MVP from last year, which is huge. Which is huge for the Rams. So that's all good for the Rams. I give them, and the Myles Garrett trade is really, they would probably get a B, but the Myles Garrett trade was what really bumps it up to an A. That was perfect from the Rams. I mean, it sucks to lose Jared Verse. He is a stud, but for Myles Garrett, I wouldn't really care that much. No offense to Jared Verse or anything. He's a great player, but Myles Garrett is 10 times better. I mean, he's literally in his prime, and he just broke the sack record last season. So yeah, Myles Garrett is huge, and Aaron Donald might come out of retirement too. There's been some rumors about that. I'm not sure if that's gonna be true or not. But yeah, though I don't like. It's an okay offseason from the. It's a really good offseason for the Rams. They deserve that A for sure. Moving on to the Seahawks. I don't think they had a good offseason at all. I'm gonna give the Seahawks a D. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy. The Super Bowl champions. But remember, they're just great in the off seasons, okay? They get a D. They did not have a good off season at all. First off, to start, they lost Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. That is horrible. Kenneth Walker, mind you, is in the prime of his career. Just had an amazing season and won Super Bowl MVP for you. Like, that hurts to not resign him. They also lost some key defensive players too. I don't know who. I think it was Kobe. He's one of them, not the NBA player. But he was a pretty decent safety, and he was a big part of that Seattle defense last year. So I don't really know. I mean, we will see kind of where they are next year. I still think they're going to be a good team. I'm not saying that they're going to be bad at all. I'm just saying they just did not have a good offseason. That guy sucks. Anyways, moving on to the Cardinals. I'll give the Cardinals a C. They had an okay offseason. Not that bad. Honestly, not a C. We'll go with a B here. The Cardinals got done what they needed to get done. You know, with they got a new head coach, which they've been needing a new head coach. Honestly, that guy. Oh, what was this? I forget his name, but Jonathan Gannon. Yeah, Jonathan Gannon. So their last head coach, I just knew he wasn't it. He just was not it, man. He was just not it for the Cardinals. Now they got Mike LaFleur, and if he's anything like his brother, at least he'll be pretty decent. I mean, Matt LaFleur has made the playoffs every year he's been in it. You know, so I think Mike LaFleur will be a pretty decent head coach next year. And yeah, so that is all good. They also got rid of Kyler Murray, which needed to just happen. I'm not trying to rag on Kyler or anything. I actually like Kyler Murray. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's underrated a lot. I think a lot of the NFL underrates him. You know, I think he's just on a bad team for most of his career. So now he's in a new environment. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But either way, they did what they needed to do. They just needed to move on from Kyler is the point, though, because it just wasn't working out for both of them. So that's great. They didn't really draft a franchise QB. I mean, they got Carson back, we could see. I mean, he made the national championship last year and competed. He could turn into a franchise quarterback. I don't really know yet. They also re-signed Jacoby Brissett, which is good. He could be decent, at least serviceable. Probably win you some games. I think the Cardinals are also kind of planning on tanking because Arch Manning's going to be in the next draft. So, just saying. But the Cardinals, they had him pretty good. All right, moving on to the last team we're going to see, which is the 49ers. No, what? That's a fumble? Let me challenge that. I can't challenge it. I threw it. Anyway, that is dumb. They're not going to even booth review it? Anyway, moving on to the 49ers. I'm going to give the 49ers a B. They had a really good offseason, in my opinion. They signed Mike Evans, which is the first one that comes to mind here. We're booing here in New York. Anyway, so, they signed Mike Evans, which was huge, like, very huge, which is very nice. because they haven't really had a number one since Debo, honestly. Like, you could say Brandon Ayuk is their number one, but he doesn't play. He gets hurt or he's in trouble most of the time. So, not really. So they finally signed a number one. They've been needing to do that for a long time, ever since losing Debo to the Commanders. So that is going to be huge for the 49ers. They also re-signed Dre Greenlaw, which I don't really care for. He didn't really play last year. He hasn't really played much since that Super Bowl where he got hurt in. But, I mean, he was suspended, and then he's out to, like, Week 8. He didn't really play much in Denver, so. And I know that they re-signed some other people as well. But I do think the 49ers do look good for the next season. I mean, Mike Evans is going to help a lot, especially with Brock Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy is a great quarterback. He proved it this year with having Juwan Jennings as his number one. He made the NFC Championship game. So 49ers could be a dangerous team next year. NFC West on the South. I don't think there's really much to talk about here. We'll start with the Bucks. The Bucks get a C. They had an okay offseason. Nothing really special. They didn't really change much. I think they obviously need a head coaching change. I think Todd Bowles maybe has one more year, and I think they're going to fire him, honestly. Other than that, though, they didn't really do much. I mean, they lost Mike Evans, which hurts them a lot. Mike Evans has been there since day one, and Mike Evans has always been loyal to the Bucks. So that's going to hurt them a lot. They have Ibuka, who was a star last year, but I mean, he had injuries. Like, as long as I think the Bucks don't get injured, here, I think they are going to have a pretty decent season in general. As long as the Bucks, like, the Bucks were one of the best teams in football during, like, Week 6. Remember, they were like 6-1 or something. I don't have any timeouts. Oh, wait, I used a timeout. Yeah. Anyway. So, I think the Bucks had a decent, okay, offseason. This didn't do nothing. Moving on to the Panthers, they kind of didn't really do much either. They weren't just much because they don't need much. They have a pretty decent thing with their defense and stuff. So the Panthers get a C as well. They just had an okay offseason. They didn't really need to do much. They found the receiver last year with T-Mac. So, other than that, they had a pretty decent offseason. They didn't really do much. So, yeah, I think the Panthers will also be a pretty good team next year. They re-signed a bunch of people as well. So, the Panthers had an okay offseason. I mean, they just didn't do nothing special. That's why it's just going to be a C. But the good thing about the Panthers, they didn't lose anybody huge either, which is a big thing. For them. So, yeah. So, nothing really much else to talk about the Panthers, so let's move short. Moving on is the Falcons. The Falcons get a B. They had a good offseason, in my opinion. It could have been better, but they didn't really do much, like I've stated in previous videos in my NFL rewards. They just needed a head coach for years. Of course he doesn't catch that. They just needed a head coach for a very long time, and they finally got on Kevin Stefanski, and it'll be very good next year. I think he always did good in Cleveland. I mean, he's had amazing seasons there. He brought them to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. So I think he's going to do good stuff for the Falcons. He can bring them to the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. The Falcons should not be an 8-win team next year either. No, you can blame it on the quarterback situation, actually. Their quarterback situation is a little rough right now with Michael Penix out, and it's going to be Tua. I'm going to give Tua another chance still, but if he proves to still be garbage like he's been being, he's done. So either way, though, we'll kind of see what the Falcons will do. They get a B, though. They had a pretty decent offseason. Not really much else. Like I said, they could upgrade that roster. That defense is nasty on its own, and so is that offense. So they should not be an 8-win team next year. They should be good. They should be good. If they're not good, it'll probably come down to the quarterback's fault, being if Tua can play up at a certain level or not. Which, I mean, the man had Tyreek Hill, and he still couldn't win playoff games. So, we'll see how everything goes for the Falcons, but they get a B. Moving on to the Saints. I think the Saints had on the best offseason, honestly, out of most of the teams. They get an A, actually, from me. I think the Saints had probably one of the best drafts out of any team. They got Jordan Tyson from ASU, which I think is an absolute steal out of the draft. Nobody else is going for him. I think it's going to be awesome. I think the Saints have a lot to look forward to. Tyler Suggs looked awesome at the end of last year during that little stretch of games that they won. So the Saints, I think, are going to be pretty decent next season. They upgraded their defense. You know, some guys are getting older. I think Cam Jordan retired as well. So they lost some old pieces, but now they have added new pieces as well. That completion percentage is awful. But either way, though, so I do think the Saints had a really good off season. They have a lot to look forward to. The first time in New Orleans, it looks like they're actually gonna be competitive for the first time since Drew Brees retired. Honestly, I think Kellen Moore's gonna have a good year next year. I think the Saints are looking good. That NFC South is so winnable, so they could really win it. Keep him, please. Anyways, though, so yeah, the Saints had a great offseason, I think. Honestly, they did everything they needed to do. They really just got the key pieces that they were missing from last year. Like a lot of people have said before, you know, like it's a decent roster, they need a couple key pieces. They had those key pieces, so we'll see if they could work this season. Saints fans, you guys, I think you guys should have some hope, actually. I think you guys are really going to be the next team to take it. Come on, that's in the end zone at it. Yeah, we should be on this. So, alright, we can start off with the Vikings. I'll give the Vikings a B. They had a good off season, you know. They signed Kyler Murray, which was huge, I think, honestly. I think, like I said earlier when I was talking about the Cardinals, he's an underrated quarterback, in my opinion. I think he could be pretty decent. I think Kevin O'Connell was like a quarterback, like, guru, and he's done it before. I mean, he fixed Sam Darnold, and a lot of people know how atrocious Sam Darnold was on the Jets, so just saying, I think he could fix Kyler Murray. So, kind of see it, but maybe JJ starting. I don't know yet, really, what the situation is going on there. Other than that, they didn't really do much. I mean, they added some. I think they added somebody to their defense. Not really sure there, but I mean, there's not much else they need to add. The Vikings are a good team. Like, they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, which I think is one of the best 1-2 punch combos wide receiver in the NFL. It's one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL. And they also still have TJ Hawkinson, who still plays at a high level. I mean, they should not be a bad team next year at all. They should be a good team. I need to stop the Chiefs right here to win this game. So yeah, the Vikings are going to be. I think a lot of people should watch out for them. I think they're going to be kind of dangerous next year, actually. So the Vikings might come out of that NFC North as like a Bears last year or something. So yeah. Damn it. Moving on to the Detroit Lions, they had an okay off season. They lost David Montgomery, so sadly they lost the Sonic Knuckles. Cool thing, that was awesome. But they did send a running back. I don't remember who it was, but and then they really just kept all the same players. They did add an offensive coordinator, which was much needed after horrible play calling since Ben Johnson left last year. So it was. Can you kick it, Harrison? This guy, bro. Anyway, though, it was an okay offseason for the Lions. Like, they didn't really do much. I do think they are going to be hopefully back to where they were next year after a kind of bad 2025 season. So we'll kind of see. It's okay. Moving on to the last team in the NFC. Alright, moving on to the Packers. They get an F. They get a flat out F, dude. They had a bad offseason. I think they had an awful offseason. First off, they didn't sign anybody new. Okay. They needed to do that. Last season, they made a great trade for Micah Parsons, you know, and that was, you know, good for them. You know, sad that Micah Parsons got injured like that. That sucks. But, either way, though, they just didn't do nothing. Like, first off, they lost Romeo Doubs, which I think he's been a key piece of the Packers' success over the last couple of seasons, why they've been able to make the playoffs every year with during the Jordan Love era here in Green Bay. And now he's gone. That was dumb. I think he's way better than Christian Watson. Packer fans, I think they overrate Christian Watson. He does the same thing every year. He catches for 600 yards and then his knee blows out. It's the same thing every year. I hate to bring up injuries on people. I hate to say, but he's injury prone. He is. He's injury prone. So, Thank you, Dexter Lawrence. I forgot I got traded to the Bengals. I forgot about the Giants. I think the Giants are still in it. Anyways, back to talking about the Packers. Yeah, they get an F. I think they had the worst offseason out of anybody. All they did was extend Christian Watson. That was it. They lost to Tavion Wicks, which has been a huge piece. But the Pack, really, you're gonna go for it? Like, bro, is this an online player? Anyways, like, I mean, it's just sad. Packers just did not have a good offseason. Hit him! He's not gonna fumble because he has that stupid X Factor on too. Either way, though, the Packers had a bad offseason. They didn't really do much. Sitting Christian Watson doesn't really catch my eye. I just think it's time to move on from Matt LaFleur too. Even though I like Matt LaFleur, but bad offseason from Green Bay. Horrible. I think they had one of the worst. Alright, so finishing out this video will be the Bears. They get a B. They had a okay offseason. There wasn't really much for them to do, so I'm not going to really call them out for not signing huge players, but they did make signings. They traded DJ Moore, which is interesting, but it was not the bad move because DJ Moore is getting older. So I think they're really hoping that Luther Burden and, gosh, who is that other guy? I'll throw him in on screen. I just forget his name. I am sorry, guys. I am a mess today. I just trying to make this video out quick, but yeah, I'm gonna show him on screen. But they're hoping that those, oh, Roma Doomsday, that's who it is. They're hoping that Roma Doomsday and Luther Burden are gonna take those big steps. Is there even needed for a booth review, Chad? Anyways, though, I don't care. So, hoping that they will step up. Other than that, they had an okay offseason. I mean, great stuff for Caleb Williams. I mean, he got a lot of attention put on him with being on the Madden cover next year, which I do think it's a cool cover in my opinion. So yeah, they had a lot of attention put on them. Bears, they're supposed to be a promising team next year. They're hoping they can keep it going with Ben Johnson being a good head coach. So we'll kind of see what they do next season, but they do get a B. Not much else they could do for that roster. Like, I think they have already all the pieces that they really need to have a possibly NFC Championship run. So, yeah. Well, guys, we'll go ahead and do it for this video. I had a fun time doing this. Part 2 will be out soon. I'll kind of explain in the outro, but let's go ahead, you guys, over to the outro. Those are all the NFC teams off season. Alright, guys, I'll go ahead and end the video right there. I thank you guys for watching the video as always, and yeah, sorry about the short intro in the video. CapCut just being weird about it. Whatever, not a big deal. But you kind of got the gist of it. So also want to say really quick before you click off, part 2 will be released in like 3 days or something. So yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Just stay tuned for that, and that's all I got. Like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell as well so you could notified when I upload, so when part 2 will come out of this video and stuff. And go follow me on Twitch. I stream on there sometimes. Go follow me on TikTok if you want to. Up to you. Alright, I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.